It has been pretty much a year since I turned the switch on. Now, what exactly does that mean? What does the switch represent? Now, the switch represents a deal that I made with my own brain, my own mindset, about how I'm going to go about pretty much the rest of my life. This switch is the two sides of the switch. One side is not self-improvement mode. One side of the switch is self-improvement mode. I turned the switch on to self-improvement mode around a year ago, and I've never turned it off since. I was in a pretty bad state of mind around a year ago. Nothing like too horrendous, but I just felt like that nothing was working. Nothing I was doing inside of exercise and fitness was working. Nothing I felt like I was doing inside of diet was actually working. And I decided to turn this switch on to actually help myself out a little bit. I made this deal, I turned the switch on, and I said to myself, no matter what happens throughout the rest of the year, the rest of the next 10 to 5 years, if you keep this switch on for the rest of your life, you will be absolutely fine come the next 50 to 40 years. If you just don't ever get caught lacking and turn the switch off, you will be fine, because some people, they just don't have this switch turned on. They may do some good habits, they may do meditation, they may do journaling, but they just don't have the switch turned on. They don't consider this to be something that they will do for the rest of their life. They do it for periods and then they just don't continue it. It's just something that they do for a month and then they feel like they're done. If you turn this mode on, mode of self-improvement, it just does something to you. I, at this point in time, felt so much better with myself because I was making, no matter how slow the gradient, I was making some kind of linear progress with my life, with my exercise, with my fitness, with everything that was going on. And it felt so much better than what I was previously doing. I felt so much better than just struggling to exercise and to keep to a sort of a good bulking diet. It just hadn't been fun at all. And I'd been on self-improvement for maybe 6 months at this point. I started going to the gym and doing better habits around maybe July, mid-July, end of July 2022. And throughout the July to August to September period, I was going to the gym consistently 5 days a week. And I probably built quite a lot of muscle during that time. But the switch wasn't exactly turned on. I got home, I played video games, I still probably ate pretty bad food, but the switch wasn't turned on. I was just doing one habit, I just checked one box. But when I turned this switch on, something just changed inside of my mindset. You've probably heard of things like a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. This was essentially me putting the growth mindset on steroids. Obviously, if I was going to the gym, I clearly had some sort of a growth mindset because I realized and understood that I could change my genetically anorexic and skinny body into something that was actually well built and sculpted and muscular. But at this point, I just turned my growth mindset onto steroids and said, no matter where other people are, no matter how much progress other people seem to make, if you turn this switch on, very few amounts of people are going to have this switch turned on for the rest of their life. And so you will end up making more progress at points in time than what they are, and you will eventually overtake them come to sort of the next 20 to 40, 30 years. That's how I was feeling. It's growth mindset on steroids. It's not, am I going to learn this language in the next 6 months? I'm going to put my mind to that. It's, am I going to become the best person that I can be into the next 40 years or so? And I think even though I was intending to take it pretty slowly, I think I've made pretty good progress in the last year. My fitness has definitely increased. I feel like I've got a much better body than what I had at this point in time, November 2022. And I feel like in every other area of my life, I've improved so much just because of doing things like getting good sleep, having a good diet. Things like my academics, my grades have improved quite a bit. Just my financial situation also improved quite a bit. Me building my future with this YouTube channel has definitely been and gone very, very well. No matter how slow the progress seems to get in any of these areas, I know that there is still some kind of progress, and I know that there is never an end to this. This will always be something that I do. Everything that, it's such a weird, hard thing to explain. I will always just not give up. I will always be a lifelong learner. I will always try to improve myself, no matter the circumstances, no matter what other people seem to be doing. I will always have this mode turned on, and I highly recommend you have this mode turned on as well. Because trust me, it will change your life. I can't really describe how it feels to have this mode turned on. Everyone that I speak to, my parents and family especially, seem to think that this is some kind of phase. Me not eating sugar and me eating healthily, going to the gym vigorously, they seem to think that this is some kind of phase, almost like what people go through when they're sort of teenagers and they go through weird phases of their life then. They think that this is some kind of weird teenager phase that I'm going through. Problem is that it isn't, and it's because I made a deal with myself a year ago that this is never going to end. So unfortunately, they're going to have to live with that for the next however long my life ends up being, which hopefully will be a pretty long and pretty fruitful and pretty fulfilling one. Don't make this self-improvement thing a phase of your life. Make it forever. Turn self-improvement mode on. I really want to say more things about this because I really think that it was one of the biggest cofactors that actually helped me change my life to what it currently is today. And despite all the gym workouts that I've done, all of the YouTube videos I've recorded, all of the books I've read, making this deal with myself seemed to have been the biggest and best thing for me to do. It absolutely saved my mental health in October, November 2022, when I was really, really struggling to make a lot of progress. And I knew that even though there are people at my school, people of my age, people on the internet that were bigger than me and better than me, I know that they are likely to maybe get caught out. And if I have this mode turned on, I won't get caught out and I won't get complacent and I won't get sort of done, because so many people get complacent with their progress on self-improvement. Don't let that happen to you by turning on this mode as early as you possibly can. About all I wanted to say, I think I've got out all of the sort of thoughts that were in the back of my mind out and onto the spoken world. But with that, I hope you enjoyed, and I recommend subscribing because I love this community of young tribal people who are willing to improve themselves so much more than they already have, and good luck.